Dan McLaughlin and our friends from King Cal Fire.
Whoa. Good morning, Todd. And I'm back here in the forest. I'm here with Captain Chris Sauer. And let's turn back the clock. This is 1900, and this is what a forest is supposed to look like, unlike the one where we just were. Captain Chris, can you explain the difference?
Well, as you can see behind me, we have large mature trees with some smaller trees that are going to take their place over time, but we don't have that mass of vegetation that we saw in the last shot. We can actually ride a horse through this at a full gallop and not lose our hat. And if a fire did start in this area here, and they are normal and they're a natural part of the environment every 5, 10, 20 years up here in Tahoe, depending on the location, it would burn low on the ground. It wouldn't burn into the tops of the trees. It wouldn't be a stand replacing event like the Angora fire was, where we saw all those dead skeletons of all those beautiful trees that all got burned in just like 3 or 4 hours. So this would creep around the ground. It'd get rid of all the dead fuels. It would help the larger trees. Some tree species actually require heat for their pine cones to split open and for the seeds to be germinated in the ground. So fire is a very important part of our environment, and we need to start learning to live with it.
The other thing it does, if you look at the ground here, there's a lot of growth and a lot of burning material. This can hinder some of the wildlife from moving through. But if you had a fire that burned through and you were able to clean it, now the wildlife can move through the forest in a normal pattern.
Absolutely, and you get germination of wildflowers and native plants and pine manzanita and grasses and all the other things that used to be here.
All right, the other thing is that if you look at the trees, notice how high up that they cut the branches so that it's pretty much at the top. That also is a very important reason because, as you were explaining earlier, tree bark is meant to be able to burn at a low temperature and it doesn't cause fire, but the fire can creep up and not get to the crown. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The pine trees, the cedar trees, the fir trees, they are all designed to withstand fire, especially at their bases. And so the fire would burn around the base, it would burn the low-hanging branches, the dead branches would burn off, all the fuel on the ground would burn, and then you'd be left with the ashes that would help new growth.
And this is what you were talking about. Thinning the forest is creating this behind us, which is now not a fire danger. This is the way the forest was in 1900.
Absolutely. It's not a forest that's going to create a catastrophic wildfire. It's a forest that then will have a low creeping fire, which is a natural type of fire. I think.
Couldn't you guys maintain a low creeping fire? That's not going to get out of control, right?
Yes, most of the time it's going to stay, and we can handle that, we can take care of it, but I don't know if you saw the pictures of any of the fires, the larger fires that we have, when we have sort of the older fuels burning, we're getting 30, 40, 50, sometimes 200-foot flame lengths, and there's nothing that anybody can do with that except get out of the way. That's why our Ready, Set, Go program and what we tell homeowners to do, be ready by doing your defensible space, get set by having a plan for evacuation. When it's time to go, go.
All right, there we go. This has been a very enjoyable time for me to spend time learning about fires, and I thank the Cal Fire for coming out here and showing us this. And I hope you folks learned something. We live in a very forest environment, very dangerous fire environment, but that doesn't mean we can't prevent fires by safety, by the Ready, Set, Go program, defensible space in our homes, and the thinning of the forest like we do here. Captain Sauer, thank you very much for coming on the air.
Thanks, Danny. If your viewers want to get more information, they can go to readyforwildfire.org or livingwithfire.org online, and there's all kinds of information there about all the things we've been talking about today.
Thanks very much. Todd, I know this is very special and dear to your heart, too, preventing fires like this, so glad we were able to bring this to you. For Lake Tahoe Television, Dan McLaughlin, along with Captain Chris Sauer, going to go back into the studio with the host, Todd Offenbacher.
Thanks, Ed McMahon. We'll take another quick break. When we come back, more Johnny Carson Live. Stay with us.